They vanished with $32 million until the police caught them. Michael Carter, an Asian American who left school early and developed a risky habit of gambling, never imagined his life would take such a sharp turn. On the other side, Jessica Lee grew up in a struggling family in Texas. Ambitious and determined, she always searched for a way to break free from her past. After spending some years in Seoul, she returned to the U.S. with a fascination for Korean culture and a sharpened instinct for spotting opportunities. The two met on a dating app, where Jessica quickly realized Michael was more than just a casual match. She saw in him the perfect partner to expand her bold financial schemes into the American market. Unlike other places, the U.S. had no shortage of wealthy individuals eager to spend lavishly on luxury goods. To her, Michael's background and hunger for quick money made him the missing piece of her puzzle. My take? Personally, I think this pairing highlights how ambition and desperation can create dangerous chemistry. Jessica's drive to escape poverty and Michael's reckless habits made them a perfect but risky match. It's almost like watching a business plan driven not by innovation, but by survival instincts. The lesson here is clear. Shortcuts to wealth often come with consequences. If I were to frame this in a simple action framework, it would be temptation, opportunity, risky alliance, inevitable fallout. At first, Jessica experimented with small online businesses. She sold clothing and even concert tickets, building trust with customers and then using incoming payments to cover earlier expenses. It was a miniature version of a Ponzi model, but it gave her the confidence to scale bigger. When she teamed up with Michael, the plan grew bold. Together they launched two shell companies that looked like legitimate luxury retailers. Their model was simple but attractive. Pre-order high-end goods at a price 10 to 20% lower than the market. By blending slick social media campaigns with endorsements from influencers, they quickly built a brand that felt trustworthy. The early phase was smooth. Customers were thrilled with bargains, money flowed in faster than they could count, and the image of success kept reinforcing itself. But soon, reality caught up. Import costs rose sharply, and instead of slowing down, Jessica and Michael began recycling funds. They used new deposits to fulfill old orders, a dangerous spiral. Debt piled up, and eventually the system collapsed under its own weight. By the time it ended, the couple had siphoned off around $32 million. They lived as if they were untouchable. Luxury cars, lavish homes, and private jet vacations. It was a lifestyle that dazzled outsiders, but was built on sand. My take? What fascinates me here is how quickly small hustles can evolve into massive fraud when ambition meets opportunity. Their story is almost textbook. Build trust, scale aggressively, and then rely on borrowed time. Personally, I see it as a warning. If you build wealth without a foundation of integrity, success is only temporary. The framework I would use is trust, growth, overextension, collapse. And honestly, this pattern repeats more often than we realize. At the heart of this case, the root causes were surprisingly simple. First, there was the classic ambition for quick wealth. Neither Jessica nor Michael had the patience or skills to build a sustainable business, so they leaned on shortcuts. Second, they mastered the art of trust marketing. By presenting themselves as successful and offering luxury goods at a slightly lower price than the competition, they tapped into a psychological weakness. People love a bargain, especially when it feels exclusive. Finally, social media played a huge role. The couple wanted to broadcast a glamorous lifestyle, and that constant need for validation pushed them deeper into the cycle. If we break it down as a framework, their scam followed a predictable playbook. Step 1. Create a trustworthy image, complete with luxury branding and influencer endorsements. Step 2. Pull in money quickly by offering lower prices than the competition. Step 3. Use new customer funds to cover old promises, the very essence of a Ponzi structure. Step 4. Expand aggressively, losing control as the numbers grew. Step 5. When cracks appeared and law enforcement stepped in, the plan was no longer sustainable. My take? What stands out here is how ordinary this formula really is. Many scams follow the same path, just packaged differently. Personally, I see it as a reminder that when something looks too good to be true, it usually is. If I were to sum it up, the framework is simple: ambition, illusion, expansion, collapse. The danger lies not only in the scammers, but also in how easily people buy into the dream. This case is more than just another scam story. It shines a light on the darker side of what I call the shortcut mindset. Both the perpetrators and their victims were driven by the same desire for quick results, without the patience or ability to build something truly sustainable. The couple wanted quick wealth and a glamorous lifestyle, while many customers wanted luxury items at prices that seemed almost too good to be true. At a deeper level, this reflects a social value problem. Modern culture often glorifies external success, expensive brands, flashy images, and the illusion of financial freedom. When consumers chase those images through shortcuts, they become vulnerable. At the same time, scammers exploit that very desire by creating a false image of success that hides their lack of real capability. From a management perspective, the case is also a textbook failure of financial risk control. There was no business model that generated real value, only money recycling and image building. Without sustainable operations, collapse was inevitable. My take? I personally see this as a reminder that chasing shortcuts is not just risky, but self-destructive. True success requires building value step by step. If the system rests only on image, it will eventually fall apart. One of the biggest lessons from this story is simple but powerful. Never let greed blur your judgment. When something looks like a luxury deal that is too good to be true, it usually comes with hidden risks. That discounted handbag or watch might not just be a bargain, it could be the bait for something far more dangerous. For young entrepreneurs, the takeaway is even sharper. Building a business on fake trust or borrowed confidence may bring fast cash, but it cannot last. What matters is creating a business model that delivers real value and managing cash flow with transparency. Shortcuts may look attractive in the short run, but in the long run, they destroy credibility and opportunity. This story also highlights how social media is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it is a powerful tool for branding and growth. On the other, it can easily be turned into a weapon for manipulation. That means we, as consumers, need to sharpen our ability to verify information, question appearances, and look beyond the surface before we trust. My take: personally, I believe the true value of this case is not just about exposing a scam, but about encouraging both consumers and entrepreneurs to think differently. Instead of chasing illusions, focus on building something authentic. For me, the framework is clear: critical thinking, transparency, sustainable value. That is the mindset that protects us from scams and builds real, lasting success. If this story shocked you, there are countless more scams and fraud cases you need to know about. Subscribe to the Fraud Files and join us as we uncover the lies, expose the tricks, and reveal the truth behind the world's most unbelievable scams. Don't miss the next case. Hit that subscribe button now.